Years ago, my son assaulted my wife. Today, they saw each other again for the first time in over a year. My wife and I have 3 kids, our girl Jordan, 17, and our sons Tom, 20, and Jeff, 16. For the past 6 months, my younger son Jeff has been obsessed with the idea that his mom is favoring our other kids over him. After he told me this, I secretly started watching my wife's behavior with the kids. I noticed she would always ask Jordan and Tom to run errands with her, while Jeff had to ask. She also talked more to the older kids and just seemed to enjoy their company a bit more. Don't get me wrong, she loves Jeff too and enjoys spending time with him, just not as much as the other 2. When I asked my wife about this, she said no and reassured me she loves all the kids equally. I asked her to include Jeff more and she promised she would, but he still complained and started to resent her. I suggested therapy but he declined. I continued observing the situation. My wife's favoritism was subtle, in little things that were hard to pinpoint. The big blow-up happened last Sunday when I was at a friend's house. The family had planned a movie marathon weekend together, which was a treasured bonding tradition for us. As you can guess, they started the movies without Jeff again. My wife and the other kids were already watching when he came downstairs. When Jeff saw them watching movies without him, he confronted his mom. According to my daughter, his mom casually dismissed him saying they had just forgotten to tell him. This answer made Jeff snap. He started punching his mom in the face with his bare fists and choked her. He also kicked and punched his siblings when they tried protecting her. He only stopped when my wife fell to the ground. I rushed home when my daughter called in tears. My wife's left eye was swollen and red, her nose bled, and her neck was dark red. Tom and Jordan had to restrain me from going after Jeff. My wife was in total shock and couldn't speak. After settling down a bit, I called my father who lives 3 hours away and he agreed to come get Jeff right away. It's been 2 days now and I have no idea what to do. My wife is slowly recovering from the beating but doesn't talk about it or Jeff. My dad suggested Jeff move in with his grandparents for at least a year to give us time to heal. But I fear a year apart will further ruin his relationship with his mother. First update. It has been 6 months since the incident. I decided sending Jeff away was best for everyone to heal and regain stability. The time apart has been difficult but necessary. Jeff is living with his grandparents and attending therapy regularly. He has written us heartfelt letters apologizing for his actions that fateful night and expressing deep remorse over hurting his mother and siblings. I can tell he has done much self-reflection. My wife has recovered physically but still deals with emotional trauma. Seeing Jeff is too overwhelming for her right now. She flinches whenever his name comes up. The rest of us attend family counseling to process what happened. Just yesterday, Jeff called asking if he could come home for Christmas. My wife broke down at the thought. As much as I want my boy back, I know the scars run too deep for my wife's comfort. I gently told Jeff we aren't ready for a visit yet. As expected, he was extremely disappointed but said he understands. Final update. Last week, Jeff finally came home. My wife greeted him with open arms. They shared a long emotional embrace and words of reconciliation. He apologized sincerely once more, which brought my wife closure. Jordan and Tom have cautiously warmed up to Jeff again. There are still hurt feelings but we are committed to healing together. I know our family will never be the same after what happened, but having Jeff home has restored the family bond we feared was lost forever. He still has much work ahead rebuilding trust, but for the first time in over a year, I feel whole again now that my boy is back under our roof.